Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Dias Cast. I am Russell Son, and with me I have.
Fishman.
Well, last we left off, Aquans and Jonas had decided to track down the Strigoi and Shadowcore sorcerer that was plaguing the town. They managed to track him down to his lair with surprising ease and infiltrate. They took care of his thrall, but triggered a trap which released a magically bound black pudding, which they had to fight along with the sorceress vampire. However, they did manage to prevail, but not before alerting the guards, which required them to flee in a hurry. The party then also decided that it was time to set out to deal with the expeditionary force that was being sent from Rolrix to resupply the town and reinforce the occupying force.
Yeah.
They managed to head it off, and with relative ease, with the aid
Lots
of
of luck.
two water elementals,
Yeah.
managed to sink the ship.
Yep.
And after that point, we decided it was a good time to take a long rest because it was going to take us a total of about 6 hours to get back to Vyrn's Run, regardless.
Yeah.
And it was already into the evening. So that's where we ended last night. So I will pass it over to you now.
Cool. My question to you is, for this long rest, do you want to do what we have been doing so far, which is get into the water and set up the hut there, or do you want to do it on the shore? So,
Well, there's currently a
whole pile
ship
of
full of
bodies digging.
corpses in the bottom of the river. So maybe this time we can stay on dry land.
All right. Let's set up the hut
Yes.
and do our usual. So, whose turn is it for first watch?
I'll just take it because I don't really remember.
Okay, no, okay, go for it.
All right. So I'll summon Alice to get her advantage. And all right. So that's a 12 plus my prefer energy and perception for +7. That's 19.
All right. Let's see if anything goes by. Say you had a 19.
Yes.
About 3 hours into your shift,
All right.
Alice notices something.
All right.
It's a bit of movement. It seems to be some turbulence that wasn't there before in the water.
Okay. Maybe maybe some aquatic predator has discovered all the corpses down there as having a late night snack.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hear anything.
No.
You can't smell anything because it's underwater.
No.
But you do, or she does notice and alerts you that there's turbulence, like something's moving down there.
Okay. Well, short of actually getting out of the hut, which I would have to do for anything basically, even though I
Yeah,
wanted to cast a spell to see what's going on down there, or just go swim down myself.
yeah.
That's basically all I'm getting.
That's all you're gonna get from
Thus
where you.
far, we have not encountered any just like wild monsters that can dispel your hut. And we took care of all the sorcerers in the vicinity, we think, as well.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
we not had any random monsters at all that have magical capabilities, really. At least not focused ones like dispelling huts and stuff.
Not yet.
It'll come.
Well, there's not much else I can really do, I guess.
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
take note of that and keep an eye on it, but unless anything else happens, we'll just go on with the watch.
All right. Well, the turbulence continues for a fairly lengthy time, better part of an hour,
Okay.
and then seems to. The funny thing about it is, this is it's a river, and it's not spring flood time yet, but the water level is still quite high. And gradually you see that turbulence is heading downstream,
Okay.
and then you lose sight of it. It is nighttime. Alice only has so much dark vision.
Yes, and she only can see so far with it.
Yes. And yeah, nothing other than that happens during your shift.
All right. Well, in that case, I will wake you for yours and take my rest.
All right. Morning comes. I wake you up
Yes.
to an uneventful rest.
All right. I'll tell you about the thing that I saw, whatever we saw last night, but that's about it.
Okay.
All right, so we get to prepare new spells.
Yes.
Means I have to think about what we are going to want to do today.
There are a great many things left to do. I mean, we are being quite successful and effective in our current quests, but there is still an awful lot left to do.
There is, yes.
I think I am going to prepare sleep again.
I was thinking the same thing.
I figure what I'm going to take off my list, though. It certainly won't be gust of wind.
No, that came in very handy last time.
Yeah. I'm going to take web off and put sleep on. They're roughly the same sort of, use.
Yeah.
I think web's more effective, but sleep is more difficult to understand what happened to you. All right.
All right, I'm going to prepare locate creature because we still have one thing to look into.
Yeah, I recall that we have one. Well, not really a Strigoi. It is a fledgling. It
Spawn,
should,
basically.
yeah, it should be up and about by now. And might be having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, well, would have had it over the course of the night.
Yeah. So, as I said, dawn, breakfast,
Hang on,
food.
I'm still picking my spells.
Okay. I will look over some notes then while you're doing that.
All right. And I get 2 new portents for the
Yep. Well, that's right. We passed dawn. I need to roll my rings. All right. My wand of magic missiles is fully charged. And the ring of the ram. Oh, rolled a 6.
So that's fully charged as well.
I love it when that happens. Not very often.
All right. So my spells are picked now.
Cool. We're eating. We've had a small fire, cooked some food.
Yes, I think if I remember correctly, last time we said we were going to sleep in a little bit to try and get closer to the dawn. And because your magic items were recharged, we did that, I take it.
Yes. Well, the new hut
Yeah.
has a longer duration.
Yes, it does.
So even when dawn arises, the hut's still there
Yes.
because, well, they last 12 hours. Now, the weather for today is really kind of just gray.
Okay, so not raining, but looks like it might.
Yeah, it's cool-ish and definitely overcast, but doesn't smell like rain just yet.
Okay, so well, the first thing we obviously need to do is head back to Vern's Run.
Well, we have two choices. We can
Yes,
say, well, Vern's Run, we did a bunch for you. You're on your own, or we head back and finish your job.
we could do that, but I think we are more or less committed at this point to trying to save it from the court, or
Yes.
more accurately, trying to prevent the court from taking it over. We've done a lot to them, but they still could conceivably hold control of Vern's Run until more reinforcements are sent.
That'd be funny. Just just pick at them a little bit, get them to keep sending more reinforcements, keep wiping out the reinforcements.
I imagine they will eventually stop and learn that something is going wrong.
Yeah, well, they're not the brightest bulbs, but yes, eventually they will learn.
Yes.
Well, let's head back. How do you want to do that?
Well, we have a couple options.
So, with a 6 hour walk.
Or
Uh,
swim.
no, less swim because we're going with the current.
Yeah. And we can't teleport there anymore because the teleportation circle's gone.
And the spell's not prepared.
Yes. And the only other option we have really is some form of flight.
Sure. We haven't done the piggybacking giant eagle and a wizard thing in this campaign yet, but might be
No,
a
we
little obvious.
yes, that would be stealthy. I think the best option is to remain stealthy is for us to go with the current.
All right. I
It also
do.
sounds like it will be a bit faster.
I do bring it up because you mentioned it. Something big is in the water.
Yes, we could proceed on foot for a while and then go in the water after we're comfortable that we've passed whatever that was.
All right.
Then again, it did move.
Yes, it is on the move with the current. At least it was when you saw it last night.
Yeah.
So what I want you to do then is we're going to make one roll for this. We're going to start walking,
Mhm.
heading along the road if you like, or in the side brush here. I mean, you can't see because we're 6 hours up the road, but
No, yeah, we're over by the boat still.
yeah. But there is farmland and stuff. So
Yes.
we can, if we're not terribly concerned about you know whatever spies that might be working for the court being out this far, we can try and stick to some sort of cover. What do you want to do?
We could. I also want to point out that it is a new day, so I could try contact on a plane if we have anything we want to get any insight into about what's going on in Vern's Zone before we get back there.
All right.
But I don't know if you want me to use that yet or not.
The problem with using it now is we
Yeah.
have no new information.
No, it would just be asking 5 questions.
We'll be asking 5 questions randomly based on what we think might be going on in Vern's Run.
The only question I would want to ask possibly is has the court dealt with the remaining vampire spawn in Vern's Run yet or not?
I could probably think of one question too, and that would be, does the court have any operatives outside the city that might be spying for them?
Well, we don't know how those questions will work, so we can hold that off for the moment if you want.
Yep.
But yes, one of the things I want to discuss is we clearly left, based on my last contact other plane, there was more than one spawn that the Strigoi made.
Yes.
Yeah, so going by the math, there should still be one of its spawn left, at least.
At least one.
At
Yes.
least one, yes.
Well, in that
So,
case, I would like 2 rolls for me, both with advantage, because we're all going to have our eyes peeled. First one is going to be stealth,
mhm.
because you're going to try to be at least a little unobtrusive.
Yes.
Actually, no, we'll make that one at regular because we're going to be going a long distance, even though we're going to try and stick to cover. It's kind of hard to be stealthy for a long period of time. So just do the first roll.
Okay. 17.
More than good enough for
Yeah.
casual observation. I will
But that
see.
was for stealth.
Yes,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, now I would like you to roll with advantage a perception check because we're going to be keeping an eye out for
Whatever that was.
whatever that was.
And
And
other things.
yes.
10.
Oh, that's a bad roll.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we proceed.
Yeah. Because as I was saying, one thing I want to discuss is we should probably deal with the remaining spawn before it starts causing too many problems. And at the moment, at the very least, the court probably is feeling that it has controlled the situation at the moment until
Yes.
their reinforcements do not show up.
At the moment, they think reinforcements are on the way.
Yes.
They think they've dealt with Zork, who was, in their eyes, Tobias, disguising himself as Zork. So I
Yes.
think they've destroyed that. Um, so far, they think things are getting to the point where they're controlled because they have the Revenant imprisoned,
Yeah.
and she's probably feeling rather smug.
Yes. So we're going to need to have to change that at some point.
Well, we can't
However,
have her happy. That's not right.
no. However, it may not be time for that just yet
Well, you get to decide.
because we do have a couple of other things that we can look into. And first thing I think of is that vampire spawn that we have left in Vyrn's Run.
The first couple of hours go by.
Okay.
Um, this far out, farms are doing their thing. They have to feed the animals. They have to tend the crops. They have to do the stuff they have to do, and they're all doing that. And we are trying to be relatively stealthy, but we have been observed.
Okay, someone rolled better than 19.
Yeah,
Okay.
happens. So yeah, it was someone seemed to wonder what was going on over there. Ran into their house.
They're like a farmer or basically.
Your perception check was really low, but I'll give you another one for this specific event. Just one roll.
Okay. 17.
Bit of distance, but yeah. Looked like some guy with boots and overalls and was doing something with some cows. Ran into his house.
All right.
Nothing.
I said, it looks like a farmer may have spotted us. I don't know how important that is.
You don't know who's a spy. That's the problem with spies. It's not
Yes,
stamped on their forehead.
but they're not necessarily looking for us.
No, they are not looking specifically for anything at the moment.
No,
So we continue.
we can. We could possibly get in the water at this point if you think it's a good idea for us to.
That's up to you. We are still 4 hour walk out of Vyrn's Run.
Hmm.
It'll be about three quarters that if we go in the water.
Uh, yeah, it'll shave an hour off of our travel time, and it'll avoid us. It'll help us avoid getting spotted again. And besides, we can't exactly walk in the front gate.
No, at some point we do need to either turn invisible or,
Disguise ourselves or something. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, something needs to be done. Uh, you are very notable,
Yeah.
which is probably the reason why we got spotted.
Anyway, we can get in the water now if you want.
Sure. I don my cap of water breathing,
Yep.
and we get in the bloody cold water again.
I offered you the chance to say no.
Is that what that was?
Well, I was asking for your opinion.
Well, that's my opinion. It's cold water. All right, we start
Swimming.
moving downstream. So at this point, because the water is fairly murky, I would like a survival check, please. You can have advantage because I'll be helping you, but you don't. It's basically just trying to make sure
Okay.
we stay relatively close to the shore.
And advantage and disadvantage do not cancel out in this case. So I don't have. I do have advantage on the roll.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Survival is a total of 20.
Wow. So we're moving along pretty good. Time goes by.
Okay.
Uh, because we're in the water now, I would like you to give a one more perception check. And because of the murkiness, yes, just straight roll. Even though we're all, well, you and I are both looking.
Okay. I've rolling a lot of similar numbers here. That's 24.
Okay.
A lot of my dice have been coming up with the exact same numbers for some reason.
Oh, well, at least they're not ones.
No.
All right, this is basically the process. Uh, we're moving along.
Yes.
You notice roughly about the time we think we should be getting close to Vyrn's Run, you notice a massive object off to, well, offshore, us, massive object seems to be moving along, stirring up a fair amount of murk.
Oh, is this the thing that we. Okay. This might be what I saw last night.
If this is what you saw last night, it is about 100 feet long.
Okay. I don't want to have to fight anything that's 100 feet long.
What was your perception check again?
24.
All right. Because of such a high number, you notice a few extra things about it.
Okay.
Periodically, this object will bump into something and lurch up a bit, and then go along a little bit more, bump into something. It doesn't seem to be moving on its own accord. It seems to be moving by the water.
Okay.
Something large.
Is this the boat?
Too hard to tell, even with a 24 from this distance. You'd have to get closer.
Okay. I say that might be the boat. Do you want to see what it is?
If you like.
Okay.
We're here.
Well, we're definitely going to be stealthy as we approach this thing.
That will require 2 individual stealth rolls, please.
Yeah.
Oh, nat 20.
Natural
Nobody knows.
20.
What? Two of
Natural.
them?
Well, yep.
All right, nobody knows we're here, even ourselves.
So we develop preternatural stealth for this roll.
Yeah, that has never happened before. What a waste. All right, so we head towards this murky large object,
Mhm.
and the boat doesn't know that we're arriving. But it is a boat.
So this is the boat that we sunk.
This is the boat that we sunk. But
Well,
hold on, not done yet.
I guess it kind of makes sense that it might. I don't know.
Kind of, it's not. It's not so. I mean, it's a wooden ship.
Yeah.
It does have a fair amount of metal on it as well, so it is not what I would call, you know, like an anchor. It is relatively slightly negative buoyant, so it is being moved by the current.
Yes.
But all right, stealth rolls actually are going to play something useful
Oh,
because
good. They're not a total waste.
it's not a total waste. You notice something else crawling on the surface of this boat.
Okay, there's something crawling on the surface of the boat.
Yeah, it's quite large. You're looking at something between 15 and 20 feet.
Better than 100.
Yeah, it's not 100 feet, no. It has multiple appendages and with really long claws. And it is crawling along, and you notice two things about it. First off, it's got this massive swell, roughly where you think maybe its middle section would be, and then has two hands. They look like hands actually, but they're
Okay,
each grasping a
they're not
body,
pincers.
not
Oh,
pincers. They're each grasping a body, and every now and then, as it's crawling along with the other remaining appendages, it takes a bite out of one of them.
okay. So it's gorging itself on all the dead bodies.
It is really, really full, but for some reason, it's still eating.
Okay. Well, the
I
good
would like,
news from that is the Revenant will not, well, that might be bad news actually for us. I don't know. The Revenant won't be using these corpses. Yeah.
no.
Do I recognize this thing?
First off, I would like you to roll, and I will as well, a Constitution saving throw, please.
Oh, that cannot be good. This seems like it would be a bad thing to fail.
All
So I'm going to use my portent, one of my portents.
right.
So that's a natural 19, which brings me up to 25.
Okay. So what we did is we swam out into the deeper water,
Mhm.
and as this thing goes bumping by, we notice a really horrible stench. I mean, sickening stench. We
Okay.
both are. This is beyond what you would get normally from a bunch of rotting bodies, especially ones that are only like a day old. It seems to actually be coming from the creature itself.
This is reminding me of troglodytes a little bit.
Yeah. And the other thing we notice is, as we get a little closer, it stops eating. It has two partial corpses in its hands. It stops eating, and it seems to be scanning around. Seems to sense something.
But we rolled really well.
Yeah, we roll really well. I would like you to roll a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom's now another saving throw?
Another saving throw.
Okay. Okay. Let's see that. 23.
All right. In our adventures over the last while, you've been what we would call sensitive to creatures that have a psychic presence.
Oh, this again.
We ran into an awful lot with the various leechlings.
Yes.
This is not the same. This seems to be kind of like a probing, scrying kind of effect. It seems to be looking for something, and with your massive amounts of experience dealing with this,
Yeah.
you're easily able to block your mind to it. But it still seems to be looking for something.
Your turn.
What it does is well, hopping would be a bad word to use, but what it does is it kind of leaps off and glides. It's heading towards shore. It still has the two corpses in its hands, and it starts to claw its way along the bottom, stirring up a lot more muck. And it is still chewing on these corpses, but it is heading towards shore.
All right. But not towards us?
Goes by us.
Okay.
Two nat 20s are really useful. We
Okay.
had a good class.
Just on the fact that we came this way originally, just from my experience, how far are we from Vyrn's Run? Do I think this thing's heading there?
Uh, Without going to the surface, this is going to require an intelligence check.
Okay. That's another natural 20.
Oh, good Lord.
I love the little this little seashell dice. Die.
Yes, we're fairly certain we are at Vern's Run at this point.
All right. I say, well, whatever this thing is.
You are being verbal?
Oh, I don't have a choice. We don't have a telepathic bond set up, so I can't. So that's not an option. I can get you try and get your attention and
Yeah, you can.
sign language, I guess.
Yep. But if you're going to speak, let me know. If you're going to do sign language, we're going to have to keep this really basic.
All right. I guess I'm going to sign to you that we should. Well, that may not help. Well, water usually blocks sound pretty well. If you're having like a conversation above water isn't going to travel very well, is it?
If you are speaking in water, sound travels really well.
Yes,
If
but if you're on the
you're
surface.
the interface above does tend to reflect sound.
Yes. So
So
I what I'm thinking is I'm going to try and sign to you that we should go up.
all right. Creature goes by, you signal for us to go up,
Yeah.
and we go up. And we are popping our heads up a little bit below. I mean, this map is not, shows the whole river. We
Yes.
are fairly far offshore
Okay.
because the boat is basically down the middle of the channel.
Yes.
So we're roughly about here, but further into the middle of the stream. And our friend was heading straight into shore.
Okay. I said, well, I'm not entirely sure what this thing is.
Stinks.
Yes, there is that. And it's also heading directly for Vern's Run, which I have mixed feelings about, I guess is the best way of saying it.
Okay. Oh, fresh perception checks, please.
Yeah, I guess we haven't gotten a really good look at this thing yet.
Yeah, go for advantage because that would just one roll.
Okay. Perception comes to 19.
Okay. You see basically a round dome. This is where I can't remember where this is now. I have to think about it for a second. I think it's closer this way. It seems to have gone down this way. It comes up, you see a bit of a round dome as
Yeah.
it came in, came down this way. All you see is this little round, like a floating rock or a round log or something.
Okay, so the top of its head, basically.
Yeah, it's smooth. There's no features on it at all. And it comes opposite of the remember this your in our encounters with the basilisks and the sewers.
Yes.
It comes across that entrance and then starts going ashore. And at this point, you notice that it has consumed the entirety of those two corpses. It is walking on 6 legs, and it's crawling like actually kind of a lot like a basilisk. And it is looking around. No features on its head at all, except obviously the mouth.
Mhm.
And it's just scanning around, and it heads into the sewers.
All right. This thing might be visually blind, but it's got some sort of magical senses.
Yeah, I kind of felt something myself, but I'm not as attuned as you are.
Yeah.
It
Still,
is drawn, I think, to all the carnage that has happened here.
quite possibly, it does seem to be a corpse eater.
Yeah.
It may have
Oh,
eaten.
and the other thing you notice, it is fat.
Yeah, I think it ate all of our victims.
Yeah. The funny thing is, that was 62 bodies.
Plus, because it also would have been crew.
Oh yeah, the crew too.
Yeah,
So probably somewhere over 70 bodies it's eaten.
yeah.
And it's looking for more.
So insatiable appetite.
Would seem so.
Yeah, that's not good. The fact that there's a village here.
Yes. And probably a fair amount of opportunity.
Okay, so this is going to present a complication to our plan at the moment.
Well, for the moment, it has gone underground.
So it's gone into the sewer entrance.
Yeah, it had to,
It's
and you
easy.
notice it did it with relative ease, spread the remaining bars out of the way.
Okay, very strong.
Yeah.
And that's in there. Okay, well, now there's a new sewer monster.
Yeah. At least this one didn't turn you to stone.
Yet.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe I should alter the notes on this thing.
No, we don't do that. We don't alter monsters once we finish them up.
No, we've had enough petrification in our camping.
For the moment.
Yes. So here we are,
Yes.
and we are gradually drifting downstream because we're just standing, well, just treading water. What do you want to do?
Uh, yes, I'm trying to think about whether or not we should go in and deal with this thing or not. Just add it to the list of other things we have to deal with at the moment.
There are a few things.
Yes.
All right. The newly into the world Strigoi.
Yes.
It is relatively weak at the moment. It will only gain in strength. We have the other sort of stratagem we had thought about trying to find a back way into the temple by
Yep.
going through well, the underground section where we found well, Vapula and the other Shadow
Yes.
Court mage, Ludmilla.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we could find a way through the river, we know the river flows through there. So if we could find a way in through that and then possibly up into the temple, that would be a great way of accessing well, the back door.
Yeah, so we might want to test that out before we have to actually use it.
Yes. And then we have well, an undead revenant who would love to cause mayhem.
Yes, we could let it out. Again, at the moment, it's relatively calm, so that's not high on my priority list for the moment.
Okay.
Because I'd like to possibly. Well, let's put it this way. We're not going. If we want to investigate what's going on in underneath that temple they're building, it's probably best that we do that when things are calmed down and they're not on high alert.
All right. What is your priority list?
Well, there are three things. First of all, the vampire.
Mhm.
We cannot just leave a vampire to its own devices.
Okay. Well, you prepared locate creature for a
I do
reason.
have locate creature prepared.
Mhm.
Two, we could try and find the that underground river passage to get into the area beneath the temple.
Yep.
Yep. And three, we could try finding out what in the world that thing was.
A really large creature.
Yes, which may or may not be our problem at the moment.
Well, we don't know.
No, we do not.
So, what is number one?
Well, I think we should table that thing for the moment
All right. That
because
leaves two things.
yes.
Oh, I remembered something. Well, let's see if Jonas remembers it. No, he doesn't. Never mind.
Okay.
So the two remaining things. Where is your priority?
Uh, let's see. Well, the Strigoi would probably be easier to track down at the moment because it's going to be asleep.
Yep, it's hiding somewhere.
Yes, and as long as it's in the city of Vyrn's Run, we can track it down with locate creature.
Yep.
We are not going to be able to wander around the city undisguised or visible.
Yep. Easily taken care of.
So, do you think we should start with that then?
It is entirely up to you, and I think that's definitely something that's worth doing.
Okay. All right. Well, in that case, we need to make it to shore first.
All right, roll a stealth check.
Do you want to? Yeah, I guess we have to go ashore by the harbor.
Well, we have two choices. We can drift down until we get to near the end of the town and then go ashore. Or we can go right here, which is relatively active because it is
Yeah,
a.
let's wait a little bit. Let's wait till we're closer towards the wall. But I want to go ashore before we get to. We can't go in through one of the gates, really.
All right, so roughly about here then.
That's fine. Yeah.
All right, roll a stealth check.
14.
All right. Let's see. Mhm.
Someone spotted us when I rolled a 19, so this might.
Well, our luck had to run out eventually. Sorry, we are drifting down here,
Mhm.
and there happened to be a patrol coming by, and the patrol made up of the usual, which is 5 foot soldiers, one of the commanders,
Yep.
one of the two remaining commanders.
Yes, one of the two.
Uh, they say, "Hey, something in the water."
All right. I think we should dive below the surface.
All right. As you see,
Mhm.
the foot soldiers heading around a building, heading this way, we dive under the water. And I assume we're going to stay down there until they get bored.
Yes.
All right.
We can breathe underwater. They cannot. Let's take advantage of that.
And the water's murky.
Yeah.
So, problem is, we cannot see them either.
No.
So, how long do you want to wait?
Well, we could use the current and swim past the basically the fence around the town.
We can go down. We can go leave the town. Yes, easy.
Yeah. We can go downstream and go ashore that way.
Okay. So, we continue down. Not going to bother going too far. And we're going to come ashore.
Yes.
Would like a stealth check, please.
19 again.
All right. And just roll perception with advantage.
15.
All right. You don't notice anything unusual. Whatever a bit of attention that was garnered from us being spotted seems to have dissipated, or
Okay.
at least not got to the point where it's affecting anything out here.
All right. Then, in order to do this in the right order,
Always helps.
yeah, I will take out from my component pouch the forked twig, which has the bit of the fur of a bloodhound tied around it with the rope
Yep.
cord, and I will spin that around and cast locate creature.
How long does this last? 10 minutes?
Locate creature is an hour, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah, it has a longer duration.
Okay.
All right. And I'm going to try and locate the nearest vampire spawn.
All right. And I will cast
A
a
third
level
level
three
invisibility.
level three invisibility, making us both invisible.
Yeah. Yeah, which is going to help us get into town.
All right. Currently,
Yeah.
your invisible twig that you can see
Well,
is just
the
spinning.
visual is just a visual.
It's just spinning.
Yeah. So it
There's
hasn't sensed anything yet from
no ping, but we are roughly around here.
yeah, the only thing that really obstructs local creature is running water, which also obstructs the vampire.
Yeah, it kills the vampire, so who cares?
Yeah.
All right, so we start heading this way because it's the only way in.
Yeah.
Gates open, of course, because they do need to keep the commerce flowing. That's part of the point of this.
Yes.
I will ask for a stealth check with advantage as we go through the gate.
All right.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's hold on a sec here. There. All right, would you roll?
I roll a 17.
Hey, as we're going through, one of the guards looks around and says, "What was that?" Immediately, they halt the wagon that's there. You hold still, and they get their bidents. They start moving around. Apparently, they've had a little bit of education, and
Okay.
they seem to be sweeping around trying to find something.
Okay, so
Uh,
they're looking for invisible creatures.
they seem to be looking for something that they thought they heard, something they smelled, something that might have left a footprint. Who knows? Maybe this is like Clash of the Titans with Perseus and his sandals. But something has
Something.
twigged it. So,
All right. So I assume they're between us and the gate.
with this, as we were going through the gate, we can continue, but it's going to require a dexterity check to see if we can evade bumping into these guys because they are sweeping the area.
Yeah, but I assume even if we go back, it's going to have a similar issue. So let's see if we can get through this. Oh dear. That doesn't sound good.
No, it's not good.
So this is straight dexterity, right?
Straight dexterity.
6.
Oh, you beat me by one.
So you rolled a 5.
I rolled a 5. Even though they can't see, they are technically trying to hit us.
Yeah.
So I am going to roll each of them disadvantage trying to find us.
Yeah. And I've not cast mage armor yet.
Oh, that is a pair of 19s.
Okay.
So
So are they trying to like stab us with the Bidens, or are they just whacking?
no, they're moving it around.
Yeah.
They're trying to be coordinated. One of them's just not doing very good. One of them moves it, and hold on a second. Odds or evens?
Evens.
And swings it just as you're trying to dodge and baffs you with the bident.
All right. Do I take damage from this?
No, no, this is not like trying to hurt you. This is trying to find you. And it bounces off you and then he says, "Holy crap! There's something here." And the other one pulls out a whistle and blows the whistle. Now,
No.
this guy, we're gonna have to roll for initiative at this point because
Okay.
this is really unexpected.
Well, we're gonna try and avoid fighting, I suspect.
Well, yeah.
Oh, come on! Remember we talked about natural 20s going to waste?
Oh, good lord, not a one.
No, I have a natural 20 on initiative.
Oh, good God.
The worst possible thing to get a natural 20 on. Especially since I don't think this is going to actually be a very long encounter.
No.
The other.
Okay.
So I'm going first.
Oh yeah. So he's swinging his Biden around
Yeah.
with the Bidens pointing. He says, "Holy crap! What is
It's
that?"
me.
He pulls the Biden back, and he's aiming it where you were. I
Yes.
assume.
Yes.
Okay.
So I assume I'm in melee with these guys. With one of them at least, because he hit me.
You are technically in melee, even though he can't see you. Yes.
Alright, so now I can try and maneuver around and get into through a gate at this point.
Oh, we're in the gate.
Oh, we're inside the Vyrn's Run?
Yeah. Basically, what has happened is there was a wagon.
Yeah.
It was being inspected. We were going by it, and that's
When this went wrong.
That's nonsense. So we are technically 3 or 4 feet inside Vyrn's Run. And you
All right.
have 2, well, soldiers.
Mhm.
One blew a whistle as a surprise round, and now they're both pointing.
Biden's at the empty space where we're standing.
They're both in the process of pointing Bidens, and they're going to shoot.
Yeah. Well, I am going to try and I guess just to use my movement to get inside the town.
All right.
So I'm in melee with them.
Yes.
So they can. So at least one of them is probably going to get an attack of opportunity against me
Yes.
at disadvantage.
Yes. So you're trying to evade him. Let's see
Yes.
what happens. That will be a 16 to hit you.
Well, I do not. Even with mage armor, that would hit. And if I cast shield, I lose invisibility. So that hits.
All right.
Was he blasting me or stabbing me?
Attacks of opportunity have to be
Melee.
melee. So he is trying to. You
So he's-
move, and he's shoved his Biden into you.
Yep. Okay. This could hurt.
This is a D10, if I remember correctly.
The bites are D8s, I believe, for melee.
We don't do this very often. They usually just start shooting us.
I'm pretty sure a Bident, which is the Bidens, which are modified tridents, are D8s, I believe.
That will be 8 points of damage.
Don't forget that they're +1 weapons,
I already added that.
and their strength.
These are soldiers. Does it have a strength
They
modifier?
have a +2 strength modifier, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's 9 then.
Okay, yep. I take, and now I have to roll concentration.
Oh yeah, for your locate creature.
Yep.
You'll notice during this,
I rolled a 10 before I added my concentration modifier, so I saved.
you notice this guy is like doesn't know what to think. He is stabbed something.
Who went,
that's
ouch!
Not there. He is freaking out.
Yeah. So I got hit,
Yes.
but unless they have Sentinel, nothing can prevent me from moving.
No, you move around.
Alright. So I would like to use my movement and my action to try and get down this nearest side street, which is heading towards the river.
Yeah, so you want to head this way. It's more than 30 feet.
Yeah, well, I can use my action to dash.
If you dash, you can probably get to the corner.
Alright, I'm going to try and get that way. And I'm hoping that you're going to intuit that we should probably head inside and lose these guys at some point, but that's the best I can do.
Alright, so I would
One
like
more
you.
thing. Because I'm not using my bonus action or anything, I'm just going to check my spell to see if it's picked up anything this round.
Alright, we'll get to that in a second then.
Okay.
I would like you to roll just a straight stealth check. Normally you'd have advantage, but
They
You
hit.
just got
We're looking for.
stabbed. He kind of has a feel for where you were,
Yeah.
and you are trying to get away, and you're not being. If you're trying to move at full move rate, yeah.
Yes. All right. That brings it up to a 22.
Oh, finally, rolling well. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not entirely well. There's too many things for you to look at right now. We'll have to wait till your next turn.
Okay.
Um, my initiative is next. I rolled an 18.
Okay.
Oh, I can just move.
Yeah, there is still another guy there who might try and get an opportunity attack.
He's on the other side of the wagon.
Okay.
So there's only one chance for.
Yeah. He only has one reaction.
Yep. So I am going to now roll stealth. Actually, I can be a little bit more cautious because I'm not as in much danger as you were. All right. Easily evade any further contact.
Yeah.
But I can't make it as far as you did.
Okay. And now we come to their turn.
And at this point, you see two stack blasts shoot out and hit
Nothing.
inanimate objects.
That.
And that's it.
Well, so much for keeping everything calm.
Yep. Now, new round.
New round.
I'd like to roll a perception check, please.
Perception 18.
You hear, as you are right at this corner,
Yes.
that patrol
It's
apparently
going
was
this way
still,
now.
it was apparently just looking around here still, is now reverse direction, and they're quick marching, and they're coming up the street.
All right. The downside is we now have basically separated from one another, so we don't know where each other is.
True.
Well, the best option is I can hear them coming down that way. I'm going to use my movement
Yep.
to move up the street and try to go down the other side road, the one heading to the, I think that's the west.
Yep. So you're going to continue and then head this way.
Yeah, just down the corner of that street there, basically.
Okay.
Standing off to the side of the road near that building.
I, on the other hand, are unaware that there is another problem coming. But as I walk this way, I do see them. I easily avoid being detected. And you see me step
Nope, I don't.
off the road.
I don't see you.
Oh, sorry. I step off the road
Yes.
and go next to a building.
You're on the opposite side of the building that I'm on.
Yep. Unaware of where you are.
Yes.
Crap.
So,
In short order,
yes.
the neutral goes to those guys.
Yes.
See if I can hear what's going on. Yeah, they're not being quiet. And there's basically conversations along the lines of, seriously? And he sees the blood on the Biden.
Yeah.
Crap. Something magical is going on here. And they have it's all right. Stay at your post. I will go and inform the mistress. And then they about face and are quick marching this way. And are
Right.
soon.
At this point, I would like to take a time to once again check my locate creature spell, which is still going, if it's picked up on the vampire.
All right. You've had plenty of time because it's going to take them 3 or 4 minutes to get all that organized.
Yep.
And then head off.
Yes.
So it is spinning.
So still hasn't located anything yet. Okay.
No.
Well, the previous ones were in the northern end of town. Maybe its lair is there too.
Could be.
Now, the next problem is I have to find you.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to roll. All right. I would have thought of that. You see a crow sitting on top of a building, being crow-like.
Yeah, you're familiar, I take it.
That's what you might intuit from that.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to be looking down the side of a building.
That me?
No,
Okay.
making crow noises and flapping its wings
Okay.
and looking down at the side of a building.
Well, I cannot wave at your crow.
Nope.
All right. If you had were perceiving through your crow senses, we'd have lost invisibility because you have to concentrate to do that.
Yep.
So you're not doing that. So there's no point in shouting at your crow, which is probably a bad idea anyway.
Ah, we can just shout at each other.
Yeah. It would still be a bad idea
Yeah.
because we're like I'm 90 feet away from the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be bad. All right. I could try whispering for you, but I think that will not necessarily be a good any better. This is one of those times in which invisibility is hampering me slightly.
Yes. Roll an intelligence check.
Yeah. Natural one.
You have no idea.
No. Well, short of casting locate creature for you, which would end invisibility, which would
Yeah.
be bad.
So yeah.
Uh, all right. Hmm. I want to just take a look at the situation. Just try and take stock of it. Is anything else happening at the moment, or things seem to be dying down for the moment?
Roll a perception check.
All right. 25.
You hear some distant noises. Something's happening, but it's over by the center of town, at least.
All right. So yes, an alarm has indeed been raised, but for the moment, those guards are just going back to their posts.
No, you don't know. Well, the two gate guards
Yes, those two.
are doing their thing.
All right. It's a shame we didn't have like a prearranged meeting point within town if we got separated.
Yeah, that would have been useful.
Well, we're going to be doing. We're thinking of one of those from now on. All
Well,
right. Well, I could try whispering and seeing if you're nearby.
uh, Crow being kind of loud. It'd be hard to whisper over that.
Yeah.
Kind of going through some antics, flapping its
Bro.
wings, crowing,
Yeah.
and looking down the side of a building.
All right. I'm going to. Uh. Yeah, I have. Well, I have an idea for that, but I have some charcoal. I could draw like an arrow this way, but that's not necessarily the best idea because it will be left on the building. All right. Uh, well, I
Ah,
have a pen and I have paper.
yep.
I'm going to write a quick note because those are invisible as long as they're on my person.
Hmm.
All right. I'm going to write meet me by Wendell's shop.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to fold it up the note. I'm going to look for a small rock,
Yep.
and I'm going to place the rock on the note with the note sticking out where the place where your who I think you're familiar is looking down at, which will become visible when I let go of it.
Okay. When you walk around the building
Yeah.
where my familiar is looking,
Yeah.
you bump into me.
Okay.
It's okay. That was fun.
Yes. Well, that was a perfectly waste of some good note paper.
Yeah. Very high quality paper.
No, I was just no. I have regular
Yeah.
paper on me as well. I have a writing kit.
Yeah. All right. So, well, that was adventurous. So,
Yes. We need to come up with a place to meet if that ever happens again.
yeah, we should probably do that. Why don't we just make it Wendell's?
Yes.
All right. So, we're still at the south end of town.
I think this thing might have its lair near the northern end of town, just going off of where the other lairs we've encountered have been so far.
All right.
My spell's not still picking up anything yet, so we should head that way anyway.
All right. Now that we have reconvened
Yes.
at the back end of this building,
Yes.
we head to the street.
Yes.
And do you want to go this way or do you want to go this way?
Um, spell lasts an hour. How long do I think it would take us to walk to the other end of town?
Oh, nowhere near an hour.
Okay. Um, I kind of want to split the difference. I want to go down this,
This
yeah,
little.
that second street there
Okay.
and loop around down and then keep going along the center road.
Anyway,
Or,
we head this
and
way.
then, yeah, that way, basically, that route. I want
All
to
right.
go that way. I want to try and avoid the patrol, which I assume is coming back at some point.
All right. When you get about here,
Yes.
your twig stops spinning and
Oh,
is now pointing.
okay. It's now pointing at something.
It is pointing this direction
Hmm.
at a downward angle.
Okay. Then, all right, so where your mouse cursor currently is currently,
Yep.
I want us to move around.
Okay.
So we're about there on the main road. I want to basically wait for it to correct itself to see if we can
All right.
triangulate in on this.
As we walk, so far it's this vector.
Yep.
As we come around, the vector does change a little bit.
Hmm.
It's now pointing more like this
So it's more to the east. Okay.
and very sharply downwards.
Very sharply downwards. Do I think this is aiming in the direction of their temple?
Roll an intelligence check.
21.
No, it seems to be it seems to be a little bit off,
Yeah.
and it does seem to be where we were encountering a temple and a few other things underground.
Oh, it's underneath all of this.
Seems to be well, under far enough that it is, uh, like I said, rather a steep angle now on your little twig.
All right. I said it's in the underground section that we were discussing earlier.
Yeah. Also,
Okay.
because we are now uh, at this intersection,
And because the way this spell works,
yeah,
it has to be on this side of that river, underground river.
yes, actually, no, but you think it is anyway
Okay.
because we are way above it.
True.
So we're not actually pointing over a river. We are,
No, but basically the way the spell works is it can't track a creature across running water.
so even if you're like way above it,
I can look at the spell.
it won't say anything specifically, right? I'm sure.
No.
Don't worry about it. Anyway, it
It
does.
says the spell is blocked by running water.
All right. While we're standing here,
Yes.
there are a number of patrols that are receiving instructions. We have four remaining sorceresses.
We have three remaining court sorcerers, Bree and Fortuna, the head of this branch of the court.
All right, we have four patrols that are being currently, I assume, given instructions.
Yes, and we assume that there's going to be a sorcerer, including Bree, leading each of those.
So I would like you to roll a perception check to see if you can overhear any of this. They're not being loud, but
Okay. Do I have your assistance?
sure.
Okay. Total of 20.
I think that's sufficient to get the gist of what's going on.
Okay.
They're taking this seriously. They're just from what you're getting from Mistress Fortuna is she seems a lot more calm than she has in the last little while.
Mhm.
But she's very serious about this. She says, "Look, we're just getting this town under control again.
Mhm.
Things are looking up. We don't need a new magical problem. So this is what I want you to do." Then she calls in the sorcerers. I don't think they're all girls, are they? One is.
Well, there's Bree, there's one other, and I think the remaining two are male.
She calls them in,
Mhm.
and this part you can't hear.
Okay, so the important part I cannot hear.
Yeah. And then she says, "All right, go do that." And this is what you see. They did this roughly around in this area.
I
Doesn't have.
assume they're heading out in the four
Yeah,
cardinal directions.
we got four directions, and they got four. We got four groups heading out.
Yeah.
I am going to roll a d4 to see if Bree is the one heading our way.
Okay.
It is not. But you do see something interesting.
Hmm.
Um, for one thing, uh, their formation has changed. Usually it is um, in the middle, there's a sorceress with a commander. Well, they don't, these ones don't have a commander. They don't have enough commanders.
No.
But you have the five guys, but the sorcerer in this case is actually right up front.
Okay,
Right?
so
And then there's three behind them and is holding up looks like a silver chain with a bauble of some kind hanging from it.
oh, good grief, are they dousing for us?
They're looking for something. Currently, they're
Mhm.
down the street. They're heading this way.
All right, so they're heading towards us.
They're heading towards us. Well, because we're at the intersection. So yes. What do you want to do?
Well, we don't know exactly what they're using there. It could be some sort of invisibility detector. And if it reveals us, that could be bad. Um, I think we should head back down the street.
This way or this?
Yeah, head towards the west gate, and then once we reach that side road there,
Yep.
that's heading north again. Let's head that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we do that.
And in doing so, I'm pretty sure should be able to confirm my suspicions that my locate creature spell is pointing us in the direction of the space beneath their temple.
Okay, this is what happens.
Yeah.
As you're walking this way,
Yeah.
all of a sudden your twig just starts spinning randomly.
We didn't leave 1,000. Oh, okay. So it's on that side of the river. So I assume we passed over the underground river at some point.
Yes. As we get to about here,
Yeah.
this patrol goes this way.
All right.
As we get to here, that patrol has passed by already.
All right. So they're just going down the main. So they're going to be doing some sort of grid search
Yep.
using starting in the cardinal directions.
Yep.
All right. So that is going to be a slight complication. All right. I say to you, all right, I think I just confirmed the fact that this thing is underground in the basically underneath us at the moment, and it's on that side, I say,
Yep.
of the underground river. because my spell is blocked by running water. So when
Can't
we
say that side.
what?
You can't say that side.
What?
I can't see anything. I can't see you.
The side we just crossed over, basically. It's in the southern side of that.
There we go. Okay.
So I think we need to find our way down there. Now there are two ways we know of getting down there.
Yep.
One is their temple, which is probably not a good idea at the moment, but a bunch of them just went off.
Yes, we do have a reduction of their forces currently
Hmm.
in the temple, but that
Probably
doesn't,
not enough.
yeah. I mean, they have still a relatively large force.
Yeah.
Some of the 40s, I think, was left, right? Or maybe less. Can't remember.
Yes. Rather. So option two, we head towards the river where a patrol went.
Yeah.
Try going in underwater and hope that my spell doesn't run its course by the time we get in there because we spell only lasts an hour.
Yeah.
And then we can try finding this thing with locate creature once we're down there.
Well, if I have a vote in this,
You do.
I do not want to go through the temple with them on alert.
All right. So we're in agreement then. We're heading towards the river again.
All right. So the quickest way to do that,
Yeah.
head down this road.
Yeah. Head down this road. Head towards the river. Avoid any patrols we see as best we can.
All right. So, um,
That shouldn't be a problem for that first little stretch.
yeah, not a problem at all. You will still be able to see the patrol heading that way. This one is out of sight. That one seems to have turned somewhere as well.
Mhm.
And the one that came down here is no longer visible either.
All right. Well, in that case,
Got two choices.
yep.
Just head across across country.
In which case, we risk running into them. I think if we follow in their wake, like go down towards the fountain, then head towards the river that way, we have a
Yep.
better odds of staying behind them and out of sight, and also out of radius of whatever that little
Yes. I would
sphere they're
also,
dangling on a silver chain.
this is going to require not so much stealth check as a perception check to avoid, bumping into somebody.
Okay.
So perception check with advantage because we're both on high alert.
All right. 23.
Easy to avoid uh, those four patrols.
All right. And I assume once we pass back across the river again, my locate creature spell is pointing.
Back towards the temple, but down and
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Yeah. So at least we, as long as we can keep the spell up, and we don't take too long, I would have to recast it.
All right. For a reference point,
Yes, that is.
we have lost 25 minutes on your spell.
All right. So we have a little over half its duration left, I say.
Yep.
All right. Let's head into
All right.
the river.
Second you hit the water, your
Spell just starts spinning. It
spins. Yeah.
gets confused.
Now, this is murky water.
Yes.
There is a current. There obviously should be some form of underground cave entrance or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I'm just trying to remember. Does the current for the underground river come towards us or the other way?
It heads towards the chasm that we forgot all about long ago, way
So that way.
out west. Yes.
The
So
west. Okay.
from the river and dumps into that.
All right. So we should be able to find the current then if we look around.
We should be able to, but this is going to require a perception check. And it's going to get a roll one because this is going to be, the whole advantage disadvantage thing again. But also, the number is going to affect how long this is going to take.
Yeah, that's the other thing. All right, let's see how this goes. That's bad. 12.
All right. We obviously
Wild.
didn't find it,
Yeah.
but this is going to take some time.
Okay.
Now, if you remember correctly from when we were in this predicament once before, this is a fast flowing stream.
Yes, because we well blasted Ludmilla in there, and we disposed of the Goliath general storm general in there as well. We threw both their bodies in there.
Yeah, and every time we were in this stream, it required strength checks to get out of it.
Yes, I recall. I recall us having issues with crossing this river.
Yep. And so now we found it. This took us 15 minutes. Now,
Okay, still plenty of time.
the problem is it is pitch dark in there.
Yes, it is. Now neither of us have dark vision.
Neither of us have dark vision, and neither of us have a light source going.
Well, we're going to have to make a decision here if we want invisibility or light.
You just simple logistics. We cannot navigate this in the dark. It
All
is
right.
literally no light once we head into this cave.
All right. As soon as we're in the cave and not outside, I think we should. That's when we should light up our light cantrips.
Oh, we're underwater.
Yeah, I know. I just the last thing I want to do is give the court up there, the troops walking around, a beacon of light, on, even if it's underwater, for them to notice.
Oh yeah. So we enter the cave,
Yep.
cast light, become visible,
Yes.
and we are now being swept along.
Yes. Yep. Here we go. This is what we found last time. So we're coming in from the bottom of this picture.
Yes. And we are heading quite quickly with the spring flow uh, into this cavern.
Well, the good news is now that we're visible, it doesn't matter about invisibility. We can cast spells to get out of here if we need to.
So I would like initial. Oh, I'm gonna roll a strength check. Let's see if I can get out of this.
All right, yeah, we'll start there.
According to what your spell was saying,
Yeah,
um,
it's that way somewhere.
we're on this side somewhere.
Yes.
All right.
All right, I'll roll a strength check to see if I can do that.
Oh, good Lord! I did a strength thing.
14.
It is sufficient.
All right.
They both haul our soggy butts uh, up onto the bank. We'll say roughly about here.
Mhm.
One thing we'll notice that's different than the last time we were here, the water level's higher.
Okay.
Oh, spring.
Okay.
So,
So, two things when we get out of the water.
yep.
Well, three things. First of all, it seems that we've actually managed to triumph over this river for a change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had so
Two,
much.
I want to take look around in the immediate vicinity that I can see in my light spell.
Yeah.
And then the last thing is obviously checking locate creature, which would still be going for where this vampire is.
Okay. I would like first off for you to roll a concentration check on your spell at advantage, but we did do an awful lot of stuff there. So
Okay. So 19.
not a problem.
Yeah.
Perception check. Just straight roll.
Get roll. Okay. 14.
All right.
So I'm moving my staff around with the blue green luminescent bioluminescent algae.
Yeah, which is being doused by the bright white light coming from mine. Everything looks roughly as we had left it.
The light cantrips don't compete. They have the same brightness level.
Nothing seems to have changed from what we can see in our radius, which is not that big.
Mm-hmm.
Except the water level's higher.
Okay.
And what else? What else would be different down here that we would notice from here?
Yeah, just for a general uh, indication, where are we on this map?
We are roughly halfway between that and the bottom of the map, so we're roughly about here.
Okay. Yeah, so we would only be able to see to the wall.
Yeah, we can just barely see this wall. We can see the river, and we
You
can
just
just
basically the
see.
other side almost barely.
So yeah, not a lot.
No.
No other light.
No, I think like, all right, now my locate creature spell.
All right. It is pointing straight ahead. Oh, sorry. Straight ahead doesn't mean anything. It's
No.
pointing directly this way.
Okay. Eh, indicate that way.
That way. That way.
Yes.
So we start walking. As we cross here,
Mhm.
and this is a little different.
Okay.
Uh, it is mostly still just rough rock work, but you see some evidence of some sort of man-made efforts to either acquire or alter the rock work down here.
Okay.
That's about it.
That's about it. So that way leads to the temple. That led to the Platinum Dragon Inn's basement. So that's the way in if we want to use that at some point.
That is where you think it would be, yes.
Yes. But I want to take care of this vampire possibly first because how long do I estimate we have left on that spell? Like what, 15, 10 minutes?
Uh, less than 10 minutes.
All right, yeah.
So we keep
I know
going.
it doesn't really matter now. I can just recast it, but I'd rather avoid that if we can.
As we go here,
All
it starts to vector slightly differently. It's now angling this way.
right.
And this, unfortunately, this map does not go far enough.
Yeah.
We are going to be off this map. Um, and you're going to find, as we get closer to the end where the river actually eventually goes into another tunnel,
Yes.
there's a bunch of fallen rockwork there. And that is what your spell is pointing at.
I was pointing at the like, is it like just like a stone wall, or is it like rocks have crumbled in on
Fallen rockwork, lots of rubble.
it? Okay. And my spell is indicating in there.
Yeah.
All right. We need to. I'm just gonna check to make sure this is solid stone to the point, not some illusion.
And how are you going to do that?
I can just tap it with my staff.
Okay, it's rock.
That's rock. Okay, it's a solid rock. It's
Oh no,
through here.
yeah, yeah. Keep in mind, this is not like just a rock. It's a
No.
bunch of rocks, and if you're getting close enough to tap with your staff, you can see over it, and you can see that there's some sort of wooden casket there.
All
It's not
right.
hot. It's just from back there, you just saw rocks. But if you're getting close enough to tap it, you can
Yeah.
see over it, and you can see that it is
Okay.
a
Do
wooden
we have to
platform.
move these rocks out of the way to get at this casket?
Nope, it's
Oh,
just nestled in behind them.
okay. I point it out to you.
Yeah.
We should I also say we should probably try to be quiet because we woke the last one up.
All right, roll a stealth check as you're tapping it on the rock with your staff.
That may not go. That may go unnoticed. Total of 20.
All right.
All right. And since we're here, as far as I can tell, I'm going to stop concentrating on my locate creature spell.
All right. You have a box. Looks like a coffin.
Yep.
Lid closed.
Lid's closed. All right. Well, since last time you still haven't found the material component you need to cast Dawn, so that's out.
Kind of hard to find it when you need it manufactured.
Yeah.
All right. You have a coffin.
Well, we could. I take out my dagger and I say we could try this the other way, but this time we're dealing with an actual vampire, not just an inanimate corpse.
So you want to try stealthily
Uh,
stabbing this
we
thing to
could try
death?
the Van Helsing approach.
All right.
Yeah. Probably not going to work necessarily, but what are the other options? Just blast it with spells?
That's our usual go-to.
We can try that if you want as well. I will say
Well,
the problem with throwing fireballs around in here,
it may get noticed.
it may get noticed. We aren't that far away.
Depends on how many guards they have posted.
I have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
I assume you have Bigby's hand prepared.
Oh yeah.
So Bigby's hand is powerful enough to lift this coffin, I assume, and the thing inside it.
Oh yeah. It's a strength of 26.
At which point the hand could move the coffin over to the river
Yep.
and
Just hold it underwater until it dissolves.
submerge it. Well, submerge it in water at least to start us off here, which means it'll take damage. It'll lose its any regenerative capabilities it might have,
All right.
and a lot of its vampiric abilities will not work.
Okay.
By and large, this vampire should be far weaker than the one we just fought,
Oh
and
yeah.
won't be a sorcerer.
No. It's going to be a fledgling.
I do not know if you want to use a 5th level spell so early, though.
It's quiet.
It is quiet until this thing starts screaming.
It'll be underwater.
Yep.
All right. I burn a 5th level spell slot.
I also reach into my scroll case and I pull out. I believe I still have the scroll. I'll double check, but I don't think I cast it yet. Yes, I have a. I'm gonna take out the scroll of control water I prepared.
All right.
Because if this thing manages to get out of the coffin and slip out of Bigby's hand, I might be able to, uh, well, shove it around in a whirlpool with this.
Okay. So this is unusual. So what
Yes.
I'm going to do is I'm going to have Bigby's hand as gently as possible, reach down, grab hold of the coffin,
Yeah.
lift it up, move it over to the river, and then plunge it into the water.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do this as a stealth check. And then I'm going to have it as something that is
Are you going to use Bigby's hand's dexterity as the stealth?
has to be.
Yeah. So it has a dexterity of 10.
Yeah. And I'm going to have that as an active competition to how light a sleeper this thing is.
Vampires do tend to be light sleepers.
Yep. So I'm gonna roll for Bigby's hand first. Oh, that's pretty good. That's
Okay.
14. Let's see how attentive our fledgling is. Oh, and that is a 15. So reaches down, grabs hold of the coffin,
Yeah.
starts lifting it up. At which point you hear the sounds of struggle from inside as this vampire is trying to first off just what's going on, trying to
Yeah.
open up his lid and then realizes it can't because it's being grasped, and now it's going to try and break free of its coffin, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. It's easier for it to break free of the coffin than it is to break free of Bigby's hand.
Yeah, that is a 2. It is securely, apparently it bought a really good coffin and it
Yeah.
can't seem to break free. I'm going to give it one more roll because now it's about
Being
half.
dragged over.
It's going over to the water. It's probably sensing the movement and wondering what's going on. And still not high enough. Bigby's hand plunges it down into the water. At which point there's lots of bubbling. You can probably hear some muffled kind of sounds.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do a contested strength check to see if Bigby's hand can hold it down long enough for it to just disintegrate. Ha! 26 strength is a really hard thing to get around.
Do you have the stats for the vampire spawn?
No, what's its strength? No, it's not 20.
Hang on. I'm bringing up the stat block at the moment. All right. Strength is 16, so +3.
Not anywhere near enough. I rolled exactly the same numbers.
Okay. It also takes 20 points of acid damage every turn, every time it ends its turn in running water.
Yep. So
This is the second vampire we've killed in this river, if this works out this way.
how many hit points does this thing have?
82.
82?
Yeah.
All right. Round 2. Bigby's hand's just gonna hang on.
Oh,
Actually, the coffin's gonna fall apart. So
at some point, yes.
I'm going to have Bigby's hand crush it at the same time.
Okay. You can do that. I have, just so you know, all the thing I've done is take out the scroll and getting ready and possibly ready to read the spell on it. Does need be.
Round two goes by. It cannot break free of Bigby's hand. The coffin's now shattered.
Okay. So
Um,
it's just holding it underwater.
yep, it's just being held underwater. I
The Big B's
don't,
crushing hand does damage, if I remember correctly.
yeah, I don't remember what it is. I've been meaning to get that data and write it on my character sheet, but I have not.
One moment. Big B's hand. So we're looking for the crushing hand, right?
Yep,
Oh wait, there's this grasping hand? Yeah, grabbing it, right?
yep.
All right, so the damage is 2d6 plus your spellcasting ability modifier, so 2d6 plus 4.
Okay, so it has now taken 49 points total damage.
Okay, it's not doing well.
No, it is pure panic mode here. So round three. It hasn't even the rolls. It has not gotten the same high enough to even bother trying to put modifiers in it because it hasn't rolled higher than the just basic
Yeah.
roll.
So that's 20 points. So that's 69 points of damage thus far.
Plus another 8. So we're up to
7.
77 points of damage. Round three, 4.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story.
All right. Yeah. You can just keep its corpse underwater until it dissolves in a few more rounds.
Yep. And you can have inspiration for that.
Yay!
That's the easiest battle we've ever had.
We've had a few of those lately.
Yeah.
We should not complain about them
No.
because I suspect it's only gonna get harder from here on out.
Yeah.
All right. That was much easier than the whole vampire hunter method.
Yeah. So anyway, the spawn is gone.
Spawn's gone. Bigby's hand is going to vanish in a few more seconds.
Yeah, it only lasts a minute.
Yep.
That's the only downside of it. It doesn't last long.
And we are conveniently relatively where we need to be for the next half of this plan.
Yeah. So we can continue doing that if you like.
Yes.
So we come back onto the map.
Yes, we can. I'm just thinking if we should check about what's going on up there before we proceed.
How do you want to do that?
I have several divination spells that work that way.
Um,
I would probably just pick clairvoyance. Just cast it up into the air above the temple to take a look and see what's going on.
okay.
I could do that if you think it's worth it.
It might be a bit early.
It might be.
We've only been basically since their little instructional session.
Yes.
It has only been about 40 to 45 minutes.
Mhm.
That's not really long enough for them to get complacent about their search, especially when they're searching for possible invisible creatures.
Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, we should probably discuss about how we want to go proceed with this at this point. Up until a certain point, we're still going to need our light cantrips to be able to see,
Yes,
because
may have to change.
that may have to change.
Depends on how we don't know any. All right, once we leave this area,
Yeah.
we know nothing. We knew what it looked like.
We knew what it looked like, yes, which is
But we
basically,
saw evidence of worked stone
yeah.
here. So I imagine by the time we get to the slope leading up,
Yeah.
there's going to be more.
All right.
So they could have a guard posted.
Like, all right. We can check. I can check on that too.
Yep. We can also just send the familiar up there.
Yes. We could. Familiar might get spotted.
Sure.
If they're looking for invisible creatures, they might be on alert for familiars.
Yes. Again, we're not entirely sure how far word has spread yet about possible intrusion.
While we're thinking about this, I'm going to take out my Arcane Grimoire, flip it open, flip through its pages, and cast Mage Armor on myself,
Hey!
just so I can have it going forward. Probably should have done that before we fought the vampire, but there was a bit of a time crunch for that.
Yeah,
Also, was killing it was easy.
worked out really well.
All right, so I have Mage Armor going for the moment. So my armor class is 16 now instead of 13.
Yep.
All right, I could send my Arcane Eye up there to take a look, or we could send a Familiar.
Familiars,
Cheaper.
less than, yeah, I was gonna say less intensive for our magic, but
Yep. Familiar might get spotted. Arcane Eye is unlikely to.
all right, where are we having this conversation?
Uh, wherever we stopped, basically, after we're back on the map. So we're back up that way. Yeah, around there.
All right, just tell me to stop.
That's fine.
All right.
So I've just finished casting Mage Armor myself.
Yep. It's quiet. It's
Yep.
dark.
Well, I'm not having to concentrate on anything at the moment, so I could send Alice
Yep.
down the passage, see through her eyes, and get an idea of what we have up ahead if you want.
All right, let's do that.
Right. Summon her. I'll go lean up against the wall. You keep an eye out around here.
Yep.
Especially in case that big, whatever that water creature thing was, shows up, because we don't know if this place connects to the sewers or not. We'd never checked.
No, actually, we didn't, did we?
No.
The only thing I can say that might be against it is the fact that we are considerably further underground here.
Yep. It's possible, but we never know. All right. And I'm
One
going
thing
to
for
send.
sure is, I want to point this out, is that spawn got here, and the spawn got here without going through water
Yes.
because it would kill it or cause it pain anyway.
Yes, it causes damage if it interacts with water. And there's also some issues that vampires can have with running water in general, beyond that.
So yeah, there is another way in here that
Yes.
we are not currently aware of.
It could have just come through the temple, possibly. It was one of their guards at some point, we suspect.
It was one of their, sorry, this guy was one of their commanders.
Yes.
So
It could have come, it could have just walked in for all we know.
could have bluffed his way in, true enough.
Yep. Anyway, either way, you keep watch here while I go see what's going on with through Alice.
All right.
So Alice is going to run off. I assume there's a stealth check involved here for that.
Yep, do that first.
Well, that is low, and she's stealthy, but not as stealthy as I am anymore.
+3.
+4.
Oh, really?
12.
12. All right. Now perception check.
Her perception's +3.
Ah.
All right. So she's going to be keeping an eye out, but she's also going to be smelling and listening. So advantage or not?
At this point, no.
Okay. And that's a natural 1.
All right. So she wanders along.
Yep. And may wander into someone.
You're perceiving through her eyes.
Yep. And I rolled a 1.
It is dark. You see vague outlines of rocks and stuff. And you notice a ladder as she bangs her head into it.
Okay. But hasn't really alerted anyone then at the moment.
There's nobody there.
All right. So there's a ladder, I say.
That's it.
Well, cats are not really meant to climb ladders. She could try, but does she see a trap door up there that ladder leads to, or is that out of her range of vision?
You rolled a 1.
Yeah, that's all I'm getting.
That's what you're getting.
All right, I'll come out of her senses.
Yep.
We're not under attack, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say, all right, she's found a ladder down there, but that's about it.
All right. That's not there.
So there's no torch.
No torch.
All right. So I
And that,
assume we're going to head down there now.
well, I assumed you would, so
Yeah.
that's why I moved on.
All right. So let's head that way.
We get there, and
Mhm.
there's a ladder, and it leads up to a trapdoor.
All right.
Now, this is going to be something interesting, hopefully.
All right.
Come on, guys. Are you awake? Apparently not.
All right. For the moment, I'm going to unsummon Alice.
All right.
And now that we're here with our light sources, I would like to investigate this trap door and ladder for traps.
All right. You do notice
Yep.
that there are torches here, but they're not lit.
Okay. So there might actually be some sort of watch down here at some point.
At some point, or whatever. Who knows?
But those
Hey,
people might be out on patrol at the moment.
you do not know. So I
All
would
right.
like to also roll a perception check too.
All right. Well, this is the investigation.
All right.
All right. So investigation's 27.
You are positive that this thing is not trapped. At least not from this side.
All right. Is it locked?
That will require you applying pressure to the door.
All
Do
right. So we're not
something
getting that
different.
moment. So you want the perception check next?
Yes.
16.
You hear muffled conversation.
Oh, yeah, from the other side of the door.
Yep. And it's very faint, but you also hear another sound. It sounds like small objects rattling on wood.
Okay. So that might be dice. A sound which we should be very familiar with. All right. I say to you quietly as I can, I think there might be some guards on the other side of this door.
Okay.
The trapdoor is not trapped. It might be locked.
Now, this is something that I rolled for them. So, what'd you roll for your perception again?
16.
You do see faint light coming through the door.
So there's okay. So there's like candlelight or a lantern or a fire or something on the other side.
Yeah, the door is not. Well, first off, it's relatively recent. It doesn't look
Yeah,
like it's been
that
properly.
wasn't there last time.
No, it was not there last time. The ladder wasn't there last time. Um, all this work, all the stonework down here has been worked.
Yeah.
This door doesn't fit quite properly. It's like I said, as you know, the entire upstairs temple area is all under construction.
Yep.
I don't think
Eh,
this is on their priority list, so they just stuck something there.
right. They did a shoddy job on this trapdoor, and there's light coming through it.
Yes. And our light apparently is not sufficient for them to get their attention.
All right. I am going to douse my light cantrip.
Okay, I'll do the same.
So there's still faint light coming through the door then.
It is now much easier to perceive.
All right. Yeah. So it's darker down here, but we have enough light to see by at least.
One more roll. Something has changed. And they're probably engrossed doing something else.
All right. They're not paying attention, so they're being typical guards and are slacking off on a very tedious watch, I assume.
Yep.
Okay.
Hmm.
This might be a good time to start some more divination magic, I say,
All right.
because I can conjure my arcane eye on the other side of that trapdoor without disturbing it.
You can see through very thin cracks, but you can see into the room.
All right, so I can. You suggesting I should try that first?
You're not going to see anything specific, but you can see the room.
Oh, so okay, yeah, I could. We did prepare sleep, both of us,
Yep.
because both of us have been thinking about this.
Yeah. when we were thinking at some point in time,
Yeah, in between sessions, we were thinking about this.
where
Everyone else.
infiltration will eventually happen.
Yeah,
And
and
there's,
sleep is useful for that.
well, it's the only spell that can be undetected.
Yes. Okay, we fought these guys, assuming these are their guards.
You don't know, you can't see them.
No, I cannot. That's one of the things that Arcane Eye might help with. I would be able to get a better look at the situation.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I dislike doing this guessing game stuff.
All right.
So I am going to cast Arcane Eye on the other side of the trapdoor. So it's just going to appear on the other side.
Okay.
And I'm going to use Expert Divination
Mhm.
because it's a divination spell to regain the first level spell slot. Because I cast one for Mage Armor.
All right. And I would like you to roll a stealth check, please.
Yes, because I'm casting a spell.
Yes. You are making noise.
24.
You're fine.
All right.
Won't even roll for them.
So now I can see into that room perfectly. Because
All
I have
right.
a magical eye taking a look in there.
This is what you see.
All right. So the eye is on top of the trapdoor, just hovering there.
Yeah, your eyes right here.
Yep.
There are, as you see, a couple torches.
Yep.
There's two guys, one on this side, one on that side. They have mugs of something. There's looks like remnants of food and plates, and they do seem to be engaged in some sort of dice game involving obviously money, and they're
Yep.
chatting. They don't seem even remotely attentive.
All right. So these are the standard guards that the court seems to employ for their foot soldiers.
One you recognize, not per se as an individual,
Okay.
but because they're heavily bandaged.
Oh, this is the survivor from the first Revenant attack.
Yeah, he's looking a little better than he was because he
That's
was
good
on.
because he was on death's door.
Yeah. The other one looks just really young.
Okay. Might be a new recruit. They will, okay. This could work to our advantage.
Well, yeah, in theory,
Yep.
the guy that got banged up will have sufficiently lower hit point total, maybe. New guy may not be fully indoctrinated yet and may not have a full hit point
Yep.
roster. Who knows?
All right. This could work to our advantage. Well, I think we're committed to going in this way now because this looks much easier.
Yes. Now, the question is this something you want to proceed with right now? Or do you want to just call it saying, well, this looks like a good way in?
This does look like a good way in. All right. There's two ways of thinking about this.
Yeah.
First of all, this does look like a good way in, but we've only just barely investigated this.
Sure.
This is like we know that there's a trapdoor here, there's a ladder, and we assume this leads into the basement of the temple that they're building.
Yes.
And it's lightly guarded. So that's one way of thinking of that, and that we might want to investigate further.
Yes.
On the other hand, we've already managed to mess this up a little bit on stealth.
So, what do you want to do?
See, the thing that concerns me is if we mess this up, we may not be able to come in here this way next time.
That is a possibility. True.
However, at this exact moment, we still do not necessarily know for a fact that we can even get in this. We assume we can get in this way, but it might.
It is an assumption.
It is an assumption. There might be 10 more guards on the other side of that door.
Okay.
That could be the barracks, for all we know.
Well, the thing is, we do have a rough idea of the cohort, but we don't know how many are out on patrol.
Yep.
and we don't know how many are off duty and all that sort of stuff. The
Yeah.
only way to figure that out is actually go and do some form of reconnoitering.
All right. I think that's the best option. Then we should proceed with this, which means we need to deal with these guards.
Well, we both have sleep prepared.
Yes. So that is an option. We can both see in there, I assume. Just like enough line of sight to cast a spell in the room.
Yes.
All right. Do you want to both of us to cast sleep?
Well, it is probably the best way of guaranteeing this. All right. I will tick off a first level spell slot.
And so will I. Also, that keeps us from having to cast at a higher level. Use the white cut back. All right. Roll 5d8s. Okay.
Oh, that's horrible.
Um, 88615. So 8, 16, 24, 25, 30.
Better than my 14.
Okay, so we have a total of 44 hit points with that sleep spells.
Yep.
So unfortunately, I don't think they stack together. Like you don't add them together. One goes off, and then the
Yes.
other goes off.
Yes. Fortunately,
All right, so if these are guards,
yeah.
I rolled over what we think their average hit points is.
Yes.
Or one of them, I think.
They both fall asleep.
Okay, we got lucky in the fact that they put someone who is a new recruit and someone who is
Injured.
injured. Okay, they're asleep for a minute.
This is going to need to be quick.
Yes.
The door is indeed locked.
All right, well, you're our lock picker. You want to give that a try?
It's not locked in the sense of a lock. It is got a sliding bolt.
Oh, well, I have an arcane eye on the other side that I can see that, but I cannot really do anything with that. You can use your mage hand to.
Okay, this is going to be tricky.
You can conjure mage hand on their side with
Oh,
these.
not a problem. Yes,
Yeah.
and I can conjure it where the bolt is.
Yes.
I can see the blocking light.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to guide me.
All right, I'm going to try and guide your. My magic eye is going to try and guide your magic hand. This is a unique way of breaking and entering
Okay,
to our campaign.
we're going to do this as a combination of intelligence checks to see how long this is going to
All
take.
right, so you want me to roll intelligence?
You roll, I'll roll, because we both have to be able to get in sync here.
Oh, that's low. 9.
I got a 13, so
That's so both numbers are a little low.
a little low
Yeah.
compared to what we normally roll for these things.
Well, this is a relatively unique situation.
The good thing is we do open the lock, undo the bar. The bad thing is this is going to take a little while, and we're going to call that little while as half our spell is now.
Okay, so that took 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Which means.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to be asleep for another half minute. So now we go up into this room.
Yep.
We see two sleeping guards.
Presumably passed out on the table.
Yeah, just sprawled there, snoring.
Okay. We can tie them up. Can we tie them up in under a minute?
No, we can't do that.
No?
They'll know we're here. Right now, oh God, that's bad. You won't say anything, will you? I won't say anything.
So we need to quickly go through the door.
Yeah. If we do anything other than just look and do stuff, like
All right.
they're gonna know something happened.
All right, so we need to close the door.
Yeah.
Should we relatch it?
The trap door?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're not exactly attentive, and they're just gonna be waking up. I think we should leave it on.
I think okay, we'll try that. The next door. Is it locked?
Depends on. All right. This is gonna eat up another 5 seconds of our
Just call it 6.
okay, one. We're using up a round
Yeah.
of not too many rounds.
No, we have 4 left.
We could dimension door out of here.
Yes, I can dimension door us,
Okay.
provided we're next to one another. So we
Latch
can't
the
really
door.
split up.
We'll latch the door.
Yeah.
And we now have so that's we'll call it we'll just call it a half a minute. So we use up one round, so now we're down to 24
24
seconds
seconds.
through the door, and movement's going to use up another six
So that
seconds.
door is unlocked.
Yeah, this door is not locked.
All right. Arcane Eye goes through first.
All right, we are into some sort of antechamber here.
Yeah.
There seems to be some form of storage, crates, that sort of stuff, and a steep set of stairs heading up.
All right. Arcane Eye will head up, try and head as far as it can within one round up towards the stairs. It can move 30 feet.
Okay, we are now down to 18 seconds.
All right. And then we both go on the other side of this door and we close it, I think.
Go on the side of the door, close the door.
Yeah.
Standing here, Arcane Eyes went up here. One more click. We get to another closed door.
Which the Arcane Eye cannot go through.
Yeah. Which means we'd have to go up here to open this door.
All right. Stealthily, let's go up the stairs.
Roll for it. Ah,
12.
6. Oh, sorry, I have a proficient 10.
Okay. That's not going to wake sleeping guards.
No. So we get to the door.
Yeah.
I would like a perception check, please.
25.
You hear nothing.
Okay. I hear nothing.
12 seconds left.
12 seconds left. We're on the other side of the door now, so we're far enough away, I think.
We're here.
Yeah.
They're down that stairs, through another room, and
Is this door locked?
you test it.
Yeah.
It does not seem to be locked.
Okay. Open the door quietly.
We'll roll off the last. Oh, actually, you probably wouldn't want to do that. Roll a fresh stealth
Okay.
check.
15 this time.
Okay. You don't.
I'm going to open the door just enough for the Arcane Eye to flow through.
Takes an inch.
Yep, takes an inch. It goes through, and I can see the inside of this room now.
This is what you see.
Empty?
Currently, it is actually empty.
Okay, so we have a pair of tables, some chairs, and 3 other doors.
And you do see, just quickly, the chairs seem to be roughly, like not evenly set. They look like they've been pushed aside. You do see plates on the table, some sort of half-eaten meals. Some are clean. There's mugs there as well. Some pitchers of something. Maybe it's ale. It's hard to tell. There's a smell of food in the air.
Okay. Probably a mess hall of some sort.
Something.
All right. I think we should go on the other side of this door to put a bit more distance between us and those guards.
Okay. 6 seconds. One round left.
All right. I'm going to close the door.
Mm-hmm.
And probably a little breath of sigh of relief because that was a little tense.
Okay. All right. So our guards now are going to be waking up.
Yes. I think at the moment we should just wait and see if anything's going to come of that.
Okay. I would like you to roll in this quiet place a perception check.
Okay.
Advantage, because I'm going to be straining my ears too.
Okay, that's good. It gets avoids a natural 1. 20 total.
Okay. You hear voices.
In which direction?
It is difficult to tell, even with that number, but we do hear voices, very quiet voices from the other side of this door. We also hear quiet voices, but you're not sure if it's coming from this side or this side.
Okay.
But you do hear talking. This is more like talking, and this is more like mumbles.
Okay, so I assume the guards are waking up at this point because the spell was about to run out anyway.
Yeah. What'd you roll again? 20.
20.
You hear a female's voice. Seems to be talking to somebody. Not loud, but very authoritative like not,
Oh, that might be her.
and that's coming from one of these doors ahead of us. And because you rolled a 20, you also hear the sound of snoring.
Okay. There's also possibly someone sleeping up ahead as well.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go much further, we are at the 2 hour mark. We're past the 2 hour mark.
Well, before we get into the fire, you want to take a break?
I think that might be a good time. What do you think?
Sure.
All right. Then we'll be back here in a few minutes.
Or a week for you guys.